What's up, everybody? Mr. Murray here, back on Mr. Murray's Mathland, and today we're taking a look at writing the equation of a line when we have the graph of the line in front of us. And we're going to be focusing on writing it in slope-intercept form. That's the classic way, and if that doesn't ring a bell, this probably will. Y equals mx plus b. That's what slope-intercept form is. And to do this, you need two things. You need to know what m is, and m is the slope or the rate of change of the line. And you need to know what b is, and b is the letter we use for the y-intercept of the line, or where the line hits or intercepts the y-axis. So if you know those two things, if you know the m, you know the b, you're basically done. You just plop it in the equation in the right spot. So take a look at this graph right here. Doesn't matter which thing you want to start with, but y-intercept is an easy spot to start. Where does this line hit the y-axis? The y-axis is the axis that runs vertically, up and down. And so where does this line hit the y-axis? That would be right there at -2. So that is our y-intercept, -2. So I'm just going to jot that down to the side. Sometimes I do this when I'm doing these problems. I need m and I need b, and I know b is -2. Now what I need is m, and m is that slope. So slope, remember, you can use a formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and you need to have the coordinates of two different points that are on the line and use that formula. But when you have a graph in front of you like this, a great quick way is to remember the concept of rise over run. That's what you're doing when you do the difference in the y coordinates, is you're determining how much up or down the line goes as the x changes. So that's what the difference in the x coordinates gives you, is how much horizontally, or how much it runs. So to illustrate this, same idea as when you're using the formula. You need to have two good points, 2 points that are clearly on the line. So the y-intercept is 1 point already, so I'm going to use that and just follow along the line here. And here's another good point that the line passes through. You know, keep going on the line, keep going on the line. There's another good point. I only need 2, but I'm just highlighting some of the good ones you could use. You could use any 2 of these. To the left here, there's another point, and right there, there's another good point. So you could use any 2 of these, and watch what we're going to do here. So we're going to do the rise over the run, starting with any one of these. I'm going to start at the y-intercept, and I'm going to go to that first one I did here. So to go from here to there, just ask yourself, if I start at the y-intercept, I have to go up how many boxes to be in line with that? And that's up 1, 2, 3 boxes. So going up, that's a rise of +3. And then I'm going to go to the right 1 box. And going to the right is in a positive direction, and horizontally, that's my run. So my rise was 3. My run was 1. They're both positive, so I don't need to write positive. And 3 divided by 1 is, of course, 3. Always want to put your answers in simplified form. So my slope of this line is 3. And notice how that would continue no matter which 2 points I use. To go from one point to the next, I always have to go up 3 and to the right 1. Up 3 and to the right 1. Up 3 and to the right 1. So the slope should be the same no matter which 2 points you use. Or even if I went from, say, this point to this point, I'd have to go up 6 and to the right 2, right? Up 6 and to the right 2. But rise over run, 6 divided by 2 is still equal to 3, so the slope is the same. And you might be asking yourself, well, what if I had gone in the other direction? What if I had started at this point and gone to this point? Or this point and gone to this point, or wherever. So watch if he did that. I'll pick this point and this point. Maybe your eye just started there. Well, if I wanted to start and go to the left, I have to go down 3 boxes. Now going down is a rise of negative because you're losing. So that's down 3. That's a negative 3. And you have to go to the left. And going to the left is going in the negative direction. And so that's a run of negative 1. And so my rise would be negative 3 over negative 1. And a negative divided by a negative is still a positive 3. So either way, that slope is positive 3. And finally, one last check, just to make sure you didn't make any silly positive negative mistakes. Just take a look at the line left to right, just like how you would read a book. Is the line going up or is the line going down? If the line's going up, that means it's got a positive slope. And if it's going down, it should have a negative slope. So just to make sure you didn't make any silly mistakes. Okay, so I got the y-intercept is negative 2. The slope is 3. You just got to finish it off here by putting them in the proper place in the equation. Y equals m, and m is 3. X, don't forget about the x, right? Y equals mx plus b. Plus the b is negative 2. And so plus negative 2 is really minus 2. So I'm just going to write minus 2. That's completely simplified. And there we go. Y equals 3x minus 2. So I really took my time, hopefully, to go over that concept of slope and how you could do it a bunch of different ways and arrive at it. But once you know what you're doing, these problems can go very quickly. So here's just one more problem to see that you got the idea. And you might be seeing right off the bat, this line is going down, so my slope should definitely be a negative number. So again, the slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. You just got to figure out, well, what's the m for this line and what's the b for this line, right? Okay, I need m and I need b. B is that y-intercept, or where the line hits the y-axis, so that would be right here at positive 1. Okay, the slope is where you got to do a little calculation. So I'm going to start with that point and just find another good point that the line passes through. So I'm going to follow, and I could use from there to there. That would be good. There to there. You could go to the left. You only need 2 good points. And now I'm going to go from one point to the next here. So to go from that y-intercept down to this point, I have to go down. I certainly have to go down 2 boxes. And I have to go to the right. So I always make this nice right triangle here. And I have to go to the right 3 boxes. So going down is a negative. Going to the right is in the positive direction. So again, my rise over run is negative 2 divided by positive 3. And a negative divided by a positive is a negative. As we said, this slope is negative. It's going down. If you had gone in the opposite direction, if you had gone starting at that point, going up 2 and to the left 3, that's still a positive divided by a negative, so that's still a negative slope. So our final answer is y equals m. M is negative 2/3. X, you're multiplying that slope for times every x value. Don't forget about the x. A lot of people will actually forget to put the variable x in their final answer and lose points on that. Plus b, which is plus 1. And so there is our final answer, y equals negative 2/3 x plus 1. If you really wanted to check, you could plug in random points. This point right here, if you plug in 6 for x, you should get out negative 3 for y after you do negative 2/3 times 6 plus 1. You get negative 3, or do that with any of these points, and it should work out. But okay, hopefully this helped. Just a quick little idea. And if you got any questions, let me know. Keep working hard.